Hey guys, good evening. KP this side. Hope all of you are doing good. So this is vlog number 40 in our Decoding Equity Markets series. First of all, a happy new year to all of you, to you and your family. And I just wish 2022 brings more positivity as compared to the last couple of years, which have challenged us in almost all aspects, including education, careers, the social life. Everything was jeopardized, and I just hope things get back on track this year. So, the term which is so common when it comes to the new year is the new year resolution, right? You have new year resolution for your studies, you have the new year resolution for your career, you have a new year resolution for your investments, for your personal life. So I thought, okay, why not try and give you some resolutions for this new year in terms of your equity investments. uh, I have always tried educating people around in different ways, whether it's through personal messages, or it's through making videos, or it's through any other medium of social media. But I still feel there is so much to learn, and there are the kind of questions which I get, and it does always make me feel that the approach is still not refined, and there is still so much more to learn and implement when it comes to equity investing. So what we are going to do today is I'm going to give you some do's and don'ts in equity markets, which we should try to implement as a resolution for this year as far as your equity investments are concerned. And then, like always, end of the video, I'll give you 3 or 4 different scripts which I feel are perfect at this point of time from investment point of view. Obviously, I'm talking about short-term investments. So let's start with the video, guys. The first I'm covering the do's in equity markets. So the first thing that you need to understand is that you need to increase your evaluation period, the total time span in which you evaluate your equity performance cannot be 10 days, 15 days, a month, or 3 months, or 6 months. It has to be much longer period. So when you are doing when you are doing investments in equity markets, you have to evaluate your performance over a period of 3 to 5 years. That is how you understand whether equity markets are useful for you or not. So one thing which I have seen is that, for especially for people who have started their journey in equity markets in last 1.5 years, probably April, May last year was the time when most of the new entrants have come into the market. And because of that V-shaped recovery which happened after the March 2020 period, it has kind of created a bad habit of over expecting, where people expect that everything will only go up. So no matter what kind of a script you buy, everything will go up eventually, and it will give you very good returns. So the first thing that you got to do is you need to have a longer horizon of time over which you will evaluate your performance. It's not like last 3 months मैंने कुछ नहीं कमाया तो equity market बेकार है. It's not like that. You have to give it time. So you need to learn to stay with the shares. You need to trust the quality of the scripts that you're buying. That is how you will be able to survive and sustain yourself in this market. And it should always be over a period of time. See, whenever you are judging any asset class, you should not do it on absolute basis. It has to be done on a comparative basis, what we call as relative. It has to be a relative analysis. When you say, is equity good for me or not, has to be done by comparing it with what alternative use you have for that money. When I talk about equity investments, I have to compare it with keeping my money just in my bank account, or putting it in real estate, or investing in some commodities like gold or silver, or putting my money in FDs. This is how you have to compare, or putting your money in debt securities. So when it comes to real estate, obviously we all know it is both capital intensive, plus you have to give it time, plus there's so many compliances. When you invest in FDs, only after a period of 5 years or 6 years or 7 years you will get the maturity proceeds. So same ways, guys, you have to learn to give time to your equity investments. You're doing injustice if for equity you are trying to evaluate whether equity is meant for you or not just based on 3 months of performance or 6 months of performance. It doesn't work like that. By doing that, you're not actually challenging the quality of the asset class, but you're creating some kind of confusion in your mind. End of the day, eventually what will happen is that you will leave the market with some kind of a falsified notion in your mind. So first important thing is to understand. I'm not saying you have to do all investments over a longer time horizon. I'm not saying that. I am saying evaluate your performance over a period of time. That period has to be somewhere between 3 to 5 years. That is the optimal period. During this period, I will put in some extra capital. I will I will rotate my capital by churning my funds around different shares, and I will let my profits stay in the market to enjoy the magic of compounding. So this is how you have to do it. Point number 2 in the do's is trust the asset class. Now I've seen a lot of people, they just abruptly jump into the equity markets without having due respect for the asset class. You can only stick to an asset class when you have respect for it. Now, respecting equity as an asset class, either you can go by the past, where equity has given substantial returns in the last so many years, or you can try to evaluate the economy, see the global scenario, and then respect the asset class. But it's very important to trust the asset class first of all. When you have such a huge population of Indians investing in cryptocurrency, which is a very new asset class. So I'm not talking about one particular cryptocurrency, but I'm talking about so many new currencies coming into the picture in the last couple of years. When you can respect that kind of an asset class, then you should have a lot of respect for equity, because equity has been here for decades. It's not something new. It's not कि आज आप इक्विटी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स करें और कल वो शेयर्स जो हैं वो जीरो हो जाएंगे. No, it's a heavily regulated asset class, much more transparent, much more disciplined. The underlying is super strong, so the valuations can always be checked upon whether they are justified or not. So you have all the reasons to trust the asset class. Third important thing is, especially what happened in the last couple of months when Nifty has corrected from 18,600 odd levels to 16,200 levels. Also we experienced a fall of this 2,200, 2,400 points in Nifty itself, where the fall was around 12 to 13%. That is the time when you need to understand that corrections are also a part of the market. So you need to embrace corrections in the market because they are part of the market, and you need to learn how to welcome them. So there are different ways in which you can welcome corrections. One is to look at it as an opportunity to average out your current holdings. If you have purchased something at a high price, this is the time when you should try to average out your holdings, which will effectively bring down your cost. Or you can also look at corrections as an opportunity to bring in more funds into the market. So you need to learn, and it's kind of an inbuilt thing in investors that corrections are part of the market. You can't have a market which will only go up, because that kind of an upside logically or even with numbers cannot be justified. And उस समय फिर जो fall होगा market में, that will be a dangerous one. So we obviously don't want, as an equity advisor, as an expert in the field, with whatever knowledge I have, I'm not claiming myself to be an expert, but with whatever knowledge I have in all these years, we are fine with corrections in the market, which is just part of the market, as long as these corrections are not because of change in some qualitative or fundamental reasons. So if overall overall sentiments have become negative, then it's obviously bad for us. But if it is a correction which is just part of the market without any very strong reason, then such corrections should be looked upon as something good for the market. It also gives you a proof that markets are behaving rational, So you need to learn to, not criticize the corrections, but to look at it as an opportunity. And last point in my do's is to be logical and not emotional when you're investing. I've seen a lot of people, small correction hoga share pe, slightest of the fall in the share, and you start doubting the script altogether. No, you're not supposed to do that. You have to behave logical at that point of time, or sochna hai whether the kind of company I've invested in, do I actually trust its management? Do I know its background? Does company have a history of performance? Do you trust their business model? Do you feel they have a very good presence in the market? Do you trust what future guidelines are being given by the company? If you have invested just by listening to some rumors or just by following some random Telegram channel, then yes, you will behave emotional and you will just sell off everything and you will leave this market. So if your initial step of investing itself is without having proper knowledge or without taking guidance from somebody who you can rely upon, then yes, your first step itself is wrong. But if you have taken a decision based on applying your logics, based on somebody who is reliable with their valuation techniques, then there is nothing to fear about. आज कोई भी शेयर, आज मान लीजिए आपने रिलायंस में 2400 में बाइंग किया है, एंड देन सडनली रिलायंस गोज डाउन टू 2200, 2150. व्हाट एम आई एक्सपेक्टेड टू डू? Either there are three different things I can do. One is I can continue holding my shares without taking any action, still fine. I can wait for the right opportunity where I can buy some more shares of Reliance. That is alternative 2. And alternative 3 is to just start feeling that Reliance will not perform and it is eating away my money and just sell off shares. This is sheer stupidity. अगर रिलायंस जैसे शेयर में, टाटा स्टील जैसे शेयर में, हीरो मोटर जैसे शेयर में, एसबीआई जैसे शेयर में, एचडीएफसी बैंक जैसे शेयर में, इफ यू हैव द कैपेसिटी टू बुक लॉसेस, then I'm sorry that your strategies are completely haywire. You are having completely wrong way of doing equity markets. So you need to learn how to be logical. When things are going fine for us, we don't have to apply much of our brains. We just keep buying shares on random basis and book profits. Buy, book profits. Buy, book profits. If life was so easy, then everybody would be doing equity investments. Why do you need to slog yourself working in day and out for day and night, for earning your livelihood? Everybody can just invest in equity and make handsome returns over there. It's not so easy, guys. Let's be very clear about it. Equity returns are not so easy to come. So first of all, I have to be very logical. You have to think 2 times, 3 times, 4 times whether I trust this stock. If I trust this stock, then I will stick to it. That's it. As simple as that. इसमें टेंशन लेने का कुछ नहीं है. Now if you sit in front of the screen all the time, you only keep looking at the equity markets. अरे अभी ऊपर जा रहा है, अभी नीचे आ रहा है, अभी फिर नीचे चला गया, मेरा हार्ट बीट तेज हो गया. That's a very wrong approach, because very important to understand, equity is a alternative investment for you. Your main stream of income is something else. You are using equity as a alternative investment avenue, जहाँ पे I'm using my money, my savings to generate some more returns for myself. When something is additional income source for you, it only deserves that much of time. If I'm compromising on my main source of income, like my job, I'm not being participative enough in my job, I'm not being attentive in my job, and all I care is abhi share upar ja raha hai ki niche ja raha hai, and you keep looking at the screen day in day out, then you will not just lose your returns in equity market, you will also start losing on your promotions, on your hikes, on your increments in your main job. So don't do that. Be very logical when you're doing equity investments. पैसा था तो लगाया, सेविंग्स था तो लगाया, अभी लगाया है तो रखेंगे. कब तक रखेंगे? जब तक हमें अच्छा रिटर्न्स नहीं मिलेगा. किस पीरियड में इवैल्यूएट करना है? ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ 3 to 5 years. Everything is sequential. Everything is conceptual, and everything should go in a sequence. Now, what are the don'ts? When I talk about do's and don'ts, what are my don'ts in equity market? The first thing that you got to do is not to over expect. Abhi, the kind of habits which people have formed is 30% returns also. If people are getting, they're like, only this much return I have got. Boss, on what grounds are you saying 25, 30% returns are less? Do you have an alternative investment avenue where you can get that much return? If you have, I'm telling you one thing very clearly. Now listen to me very, very carefully. If you have an alternative investment avenue where you can easily get 25-30% returns without taking any risk, you should quit equity markets right away. I'm telling you this. Then there is no point of being in equity markets, seeing the volatility daily, applying your brains, taking services, putting your money through SIPs and mutual funds. There's no point doing all this when you have a short opportunity of generating 25-30% returns from other asset classes. But नहीं sir, है नहीं, इसलिए तो equity में आए हैं. But when you come to equity markets, then you have to also understand what returns am I getting from other asset classes. When other asset classes are not even giving you 8-9% returns, then why is it that with equity you have suddenly a very high side expectations of returns that even 25-30% returns are like, ये तो कुछ भी नहीं है. कैसे कुछ नहीं है सर? आप एक काम करिए, अगर आपको इक्विटी में 20-25% रिटर्न भी कम लग रहा है, यू टेक आउट योर मनी फ्रॉम इक्विटी एंड लेट्स सी वेयर एल्स यू कैन पुट योर मनी फॉर अ ईयर एंड लेट्स सी हाउ मच रिटर्न्स यू कैन जनरेट ओवर देयर. क्योंकि बाकी सब एसेट क्लासेस में तो रिटर्न्स ऑलमोस्ट डिफाइंड है ना. सो इट्स नॉट अ मैटर ऑफ स्पेक्यूलेशन कि देखते हैं कितना रिटर्न मिलेगा. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. So when you know exactly what is the return expectations in other asset classes, why suddenly in equity 3, 4, 5 times of return expectations I have? So unrealistic. So who is being stupid? You or the asset class? Think about it. We have to apply common sense, guys. Abhi, if I know, I am giving you one simple analogy for this. I know I have to buy a particular product and I know the price of the product is 500. Most of the guys are going to charge me 500 for that. Let's say 500 they are going to charge me. Now if I go to one shop and suddenly he says 450, should be fine buying that, right? Then you can't go and tell that guy, I want it for 350. No, you can't say that. That is being unrealistic. You know everybody else is charging 500. Now one guy giving it to you for 450. Abhi, you can't ask him to give you more discounts because you know nobody else is giving you that much discount also. So immediately you will go to that guy and buy the product. The whole reason for some people to stay away from equity and accept 5-6% returns in FDs is because they're not comfortable with the volatility of equity markets. Now there can be different reasons for that. Maybe people by nature you are risk averse. Maybe you don't enjoy the volatility. Maybe you don't want anything uncertain in your life. So it's okay. You will settle for less. But when you come to equity markets, if you keep your return expectations normal, not alpha returns or supernormal returns, yeah, if times are good, we might make supernormal returns also. But if as I told you, 9 out of 10 years, equity markets are not going to make the game very easy for you. So why not from day one, when I decided to come into equity markets, why not keep my return expectations normal? What I mean by normal is anything above 15% is very good in equity markets. अभी कोशिश तो हम लोग भी यही करते हैं. When you come to me and ask me, sir, what is your strategy when you give us shares? My strategy is 15 to 20 days or max to max 1 month. If I can get 5-6% return also, it's good. But does that mean I start telling my clients 6 into 12 is 72, so 72% return to kama ke dunga? Do I say that? Understand one thing, if I have the capacity to give you 72% return every year, I will stop giving advisory services and I will only focus on my own money. Because if my money can grow by 72% every year, why do I need to, give services to anybody? Think about it. That's number one. Second point is, don't just invest to either make profit or loss. No. There is third thing also that can be done, and that is to stay with these shares. When share is not performing, learn to embrace those shares. Think of it as like your investment. What I'm saying is, why be a full-fledged investor or a full-fledged trader? Why not use a blend of the two, which will help you survive longer in this market? So what I'm saying is, yes, I will buy a share with the intent of making quick returns. But then if my share does not perform, maybe because the company is not doing well, or maybe because the overall economy is not doing well, or maybe because the global markets are not doing well, then you should learn to embrace the share and stay with the share till the time it is performing. It's not like या तो profit करेंगे या loss करेंगे. So swing trades का कोई, for swing trades there is no life in this market, guys. There is no life. Only 1 out of 1,000 might survive. जो स्विंग ट्रेड्स करते हैं ना कि खरीद लिया, 10 रुपया ऊपर जाएगा, प्रॉफिट बुक करेंगे, 5 रुपया नीचे जाएगा, स्टॉप लॉस लगाएंगे. Come out of that gambling, guys. For gambling, casinos are there, right? Why do it in equity markets? For that, you should go to Goa. For that, you should not come to equity markets. Equity में simple strategy है. Let's buy a share which is fundamentally good. Plus, I expect some kind of volatility in this script. I will buy those kind of scripts. But then if the share goes down for any reason, I know how to stay with it. And I can stay anytime, for any period of time. 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 12 months. It's okay. I'll hold on to it. I know the script is good. I don't mind holding on to it. So, very important, learn to invest in equity. Don't do it only for the sake of making profit or losses. When you do new businesses, new ventures, you don't do it. या तो प्रॉफिट हो जाएगा फर्स्ट ईयर में, या लॉस हो जाएगा. जो होगा उस हिसाब से बिजनेस बंद कर देंगे. You don't do that, right? When you first start the business, the foundation of the business has to be very strong. That is why we start the business. We want to cater to the market. We want to create a brand for the product. And then profits or losses are the end result of it. It's not the only objective why you started something on the first step. No. If that is the intention, nobody can survive in this in any kind of business model whatsoever. No matter what your offerings are, you won't be able to survive if the only intent of doing it is profit loss. You will never be able to get a good share of the market. No. And last is the third don't try to time the markets. I get so many messages on daily basis. अभी पूरा शेयर्स बेच दे, अभी सारा माल बेच के बैठ जाए, एक बार नीचे जाएगा तब ले लेंगे. अरे नीचे जाएगा ये आपको कैसे पता है सर? पता था तो पहले ही बता देते ना, तो पहले बेच देते. When market started falling from Nifty started falling from 18,600, 18,000 पे भी अगर आपको पता चला था कि मार्केट गिरेगा तो उसी समय बेच देते सर. फिर अभी क्यों पूछ रहे हो? Then why at 16,500 when things start looking very well priced and it's time for you to increase your investments, that is when you're asking me अभी सब बेच दें क्या एक बार? अरे बेच के करोगे क्या करोगे बेच के? नीचे खरीद लेंगे. नीचे किसने बताया नीचे मिलेगा? Who told you 16,500 will go to 15,500? Did somebody tell you? Did God come and whisper in your ear? Or Santa came to you and told you sell off everything, you will be able to buy at a lower price? अरे क्यों speculate करना है यार? Why do you want to speculate so much? Stay with your investments यार. You are not breathing in, breathing out equity all the time. You have many more things to do. Focus on your career, focus on your studies, focus on your family. Equity is just out of my savings कुछ investment किया है return के लिए. That's it. Understand the very, very, very important definition of equity first of all. Out of my savings, I have done some investments just to make sure my money is working for me and is giving me some returns over a period of time. That's it, guys. That's it. Let's not complicate this. It's a very beautiful asset class. Mark the day today and talk to me after 3 or 4 years. Try implement the points which I've told you and then see whether things start appearing different to you or not. और एंजाइटी लेके थोड़ी काम करना है. पैसा कमा के करोगे क्या इफ यू डोंट सर्वाइव एट द एंड ऑफ इट? सर मैंने 5 करोड़ कमा लिया पर अब मैं जिंदा नहीं हूं, तो क्या करोगे पैसा कमा के? इतना स्ट्रेस, इतना टेंशन? नो, वी आर नॉट सपोज्ड टू डू दैट. एंड आई हैव बीन सीइंग इक्विटी मार्केट since I have got hold of my senses. Since then I have seen my father doing it. Whether he was doing it at a very small scale or he was doing it at a large scale, doesn't matter. But I've always seen what kind of strategies have been deployed by him or his friends or his people in his circle. And equity market is performing for all these years. It's more than 3 decades now that I have seen people doing it. ठीक है, 3 decades के पहले मेरा इतना सेंसस नहीं था, पर जब 10 11 12 साल के हुए तो समझ में आता था कि दैट इज डूइंग समथिंग, watching the people talking about some scripts. There is red color, there is green color, there is some bull kind of a thing, there is some bear kind of a thing, there are tickers moving down, giving the current market price of shares. We've seen that now for a decade. Most of you are not even 30 plus right now, the kind of people I am catering to. 30 35, यही तो है ना हमारा एज, एवरेज एज का बात कर रहा हूं. So this market will stay here. You frame your strategy so that you can survive in this market. Market कहीं नहीं जाएगा. Don't behave like a Robin Hood investor and you do some stupidity and then just move out of this market. No. At least मैं क्या बोलता हूँ ना, 3 to 5 years पहले ढंग से equity markets करिए. Do it for 3 to 5 years properly. Then see whether this asset class is suiting you or not. Yes, for some people they tell me मेरे को इक्विटी सूट ही नहीं करता है बॉस, मैं रियल एस्टेट में 10 करोड़ 20 करोड़ लगा दूंगा पर मैं इक्विटी में नहीं लगाऊंगा. इट्स ओके, they might have tried their luck. Now I don't know how much they tried, but if somebody is so clear in their mind that they don't want to do it because they have better alternative investment avenues, then it's okay. You're not supposed to convince them. But if you haven't given a fair chance to equity, then yes, you should give it. And what should be your evaluation criteria? 3 to 5 years. Same goes for your advisor. I'm not talking only for myself. I'm talking for all people on my behalf. You can't judge somebody just based on 1 or 2 trades. अरे भगवान कोई नहीं है, किसी को नहीं पता कहाँ मार्केट जाएगा. We just try to apply our knowledge to the bestest possible levels and try to generate some returns for you. सर ये शेयर आपने दिलाया था, ये तो नीचे चला गया. भाई जा सकता है नीचे. एक शेयर का दो ही तो प्रोबेबिलिटी है, तो ऊपर जाएगा या नीचे आएगा. देयर इज अ 50% चांस फॉर शेयर गोइंग अप एंड 50% चांस फॉर शेयर गोइंग डाउन. चला गया नीचे तो इतना हैरानी वाला बात क्या है? डिड आई प्रॉमिस यू, डिड आई टेल यू ये सिर्फ ऊपर ही जा सकता है बेटा, खरीद लो इसको? डिड आई टेल यू दैट? और नीचे चला गया तो क्या हो गया? कंपनी जीरो हो गई. हाउ मेनी कंपनीज हैव यू सीन listed on BSE NSE? How many companies have you seen whose value have gone down to zero? The rarest of rare cases this can happen. So consider yourself lucky that it's very transparent out there. It's heavily regulated by SEBI. There are a lot of numbers which companies have to submit on quarterly basis, so you exactly know what company is doing with your money. There's no risk involved, no risk. The systematic risk which is there in the market, the unsystematic risk which is there with the stocks, that will always be there, but I'm willing to take that risk for the kind of returns it is giving me. Think about it, guys. Think about it. It's time that we start the new year with a lot of well-informed decisions. That's very important. Just because पैसा पड़ा हुआ था लगा दिया, या किसी दोस्त ने बोला इक्विटी में लगा दे भाई बहुत रिटर्न्स मिलता है इसलिए लगा दिया, and then you do some stupidity and come out of it with booking some losses of 3 4 5 lakhs. There's no point doing all that. It's a hard-earned money. Try to protect it. Okay, I think I've given you a lot of do's and don'ts from my end. Try keep them in your mind. अगर भूल जाओ तो ये वीडियो वापस देख लेना guys. And apart from that, I am giving you few scripts which I feel are good at their current market price, and I see some good upside in these shares in short term horizon. Now what is short term horizon? कल सुबह खरीदेंगे सब परसों बेच देंगे? No, hold on to them. IndusInd Bank at the rate of 888. I personally feel is a very good buy. Stock has recently shown some correction, and moreover the entire financial sector has been under a lot of beating in the last few months, that you would understand by looking at bank nifty levels. But I feel IndusInd Bank is a very good buy at 888, and you can hold on to it with a target of 975 to 1000 rupees. That is my first pick. Second is Whirlpool is a very good script, and recently it has corrected a lot from 2200 levels down to 1800 levels. I feel whatever downside had to happen in this stock has already happened. Currently trading at 1762. It is a good script to buy with your short-term targets of 1875, then 1900, and eventually it will go past 2000 also. So depending on your investment horizon and what returns you're comfortable with, you can decide on what targets you want to keep it. The third share which I like, and I have seen a lot of consolidation happening in this script at its current price, is India Bulls Housing. India Bulls Housing currently trading at 218 is a very good buy with a short-term target of 260 and then 275. That is my third pick. And last one is Sterling and Wilson trading at 382, which is I hope you know their solar business has been acquired by Reliance. It's a good script at around 382 with a target of 435, 475. And this is one stock which you can buy and forget and keep it as part of your portfolio also, because I feel the upside in this stock, which I expect over a period of time, is that it can double from its current price. Yes, you heard me right. Sterling and Wilson is one share. SW Solar भी बोलते हैं इसको. This is one share which you can buy and just keep it as a part of your portfolio. I personally find it to be a very good script. Okay, lot of things I've spoken in this last half an hour. What about Omicron, sir? Nothing will happen. Yes, we have to take a lot of precautionary measures. First of all, to not catch hold of the virus. But is it lethal? Answer is no. As far as I am not an expert in this, but as far as I've been hearing news and listening to the experts, it's not at all lethal. But yes, the rate of spreading is very fast, which is a matter of concern. So you have to take a lot of measures to protect yourself from this. And will it have adverse impact on the market? Probably no longer now, because it has already been factored in. जो अभी फॉल हुआ था उसमें ये ले लिया गया है. Is it a matter of concern? The US Fed policy, interest rates hike and all, nothing is going to happen. 0% interest rate में सर देश नहीं चलेगा. US को ये बात समझ में आ गया है. रेट्स बढ़ाएंगे and that too they will do it on 8 different occasions, increasing rates by 0.25%. तब भी रेट उनका 2% ही होगा. इंडिया से तो बहुत कम है अभी भी. 2% रेट will not make any difference. और वो कितना भी रेट्स बढ़ाएं, FII ultimately has to bring their money into a promising country like India. पैसा आएगा सर. 2% रेट होने के कारण धरती फट जाएगी, आसमान फट जाएगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा. People will still invest in Indian equity markets. And F2 will also bring their money in Indian equity markets. This rate hike is actually giving you a signal that US economy is still functioning with some gray matters in their mind. इससे ये समझ में आता है. फ्री का पैसा बांटने का कैपेसिटी किसी का नहीं है सर. वो नोट छापते जाएंगे और लोगों को देते जाएंगे, कॉर्पोरेट्स को देते जाएंगे, बैंक्स को देते जाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं होता है. There has to be a point when rates have to be normalized. So that is the process. And will it again have an impact on the equity markets? No, it cannot create any further dent. Whatever had to happen has already been talked about, and वो small jerks होंगे इधर उधर, small falls here and there can happen, but there we don't expect a knee-jerk reaction anymore in that. Okay, I hope the video has been useful, guys, and if you have any doubts, you can always get in touch with me, and invest wisely in equity. Give it time. I still assure you it is one of the best asset classes out there. My overall view on markets, it's a fantabulous time to start buying good scripts. Only good scripts. Okay. Chalo, cheers guys. Bye bye. God bless all of you. Thanks a lot. Bye.